Okay, movie watch list for the week of February 8th, 2022, or 8th February 2022. I got two items. Before I read them, or not read them off, but show you them, reflecting, so I've done a few of these watch lists now, and I have a favorite so far, and that's a movie from last week's watch list called Underwater 2020. If you have not seen it, I recommend it. It might actually be my favorite science fiction thriller of all time. When watching it, it was really good. It's like horror, but not horror, so I think that's kind of why the genre is thriller. Is like it's on the edge of one seat. All three of us, so of all of the movies I've done in these watch lists, it was the only one that like thoroughly engrossed my mom, my dad, and I. We were all entertained all the way through. And I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. And I there was like at a point in there where just like partway through the movie, like it just clicked and it kind of like felt like home. And my parents kind of said something similar, at least my mom did. Was like, it just kind of like had a groove and it just fit. It stars Vincent Cassel and Kristen Stewart. I know some people really don't like Kristen Stewart. I think she has a novel acting type, which is she's very good at physical acting, which is kind of uncommon in Hollywood. What do I mean by that? She's very good at expressing meaning and conveying feeling through physical movements, and that was very pronounced in this film, especially towards the beginning. Like she does stuff in her acting that people in the real life situation might have a hard time doing or controlling kind of the physical movements. So she's a very unique actress in that way. If you don't like her, or you want to watch the movie but have someone who doesn't like her, just like she's good at physical acting, so maybe they haven't picked up on that before, or they just don't like her. Anyway, so that's kind of a note. Favorite science fiction thriller, maybe favorite science fiction, definitely favorite. It came out in 2020, so definitely it is my favorite COVID-19 pandemic movie. So movie that's come out during the COVID-19 pandemic. And science fiction thriller. So yeah, I recommend that one. That's in the favorite of these watch lists so far. And then for this week, I did two new ones. I have not seen the first one. So the first one is Watchmen. It came out in 2009. It's based on, I think, like the most celebrated comic book or graphic novel or something like that, which I think is consistent with the people I know who are really into science, in science fiction and comic books and stuff like that. They kind of agree with that. I remember the trailer. I have not seen the movie, so this will be my first time seeing it. And why did I choose it? In the trailer, they talk about nuclear kind of weapons, or just the term nuclear. And I work on materials in military technology, like nuclear military technology. And some people get really rubbed the wrong way by that, but there's a catch in science. So I work on high temperature, high pressure systems, so like below the surface of the earth in volcanoes and stuff like that. And some of the materials that occur in the natural systems are actually used in nuclear military technology. So what does that mean for science is, and those materials are called dual, like D-U-A-L, dual use materials. And so if research progresses, so like science is funded just like general science, and especially earth science and stuff like that these days, in geology and volcanology and stuff like that, earth science more broadly. When earth science progresses, our understanding of natural materials progresses, and they are also used in military technology. Military technology benefits and advances because science has progressed. So there's kind of like this group that's like just science and nothing like weapons or anything like that, and it's like that's inconsistent with reality because the same materials are used in both places. So basic science actually can advance military technology directly. So that's why this one is kind of relevant for work and something I haven't seen. I have seen so the first comic book or graphic novel of the science fiction kind of type, so like before Spider-Man and like Superman and stuff like that, was Valerian. So I actually saw this in theaters. This is a picture of my collectible ticket. I'm such a fan, I actually went, and I didn't know I'd be a fan. So it stars Cara Delevingne and Dane DeHaan and Rihanna. Yes, the singer. And it's really good. And this was the first comic book slash graphic novel of like the comic book frenzy the film industry is currently in, but it's not the first movie. So if you really are a fan or really want to understand the origins of comic books and graphic novels, maybe start with the first one written, though not the first film adaptation so far as I'm aware. This one came out in like 2017 or 2018, but I recommend that one too. But it's not on my watch list for this week. And then the second movie for this week is Children of Men. It's a kind of dystopian future where, sorry if my head got cut off. It's a dystopian future, my arm is getting tired, where humans can no longer reproduce. So they track like the youngest person on the planet and stuff like that. And I chose it partially because swimming works like that. They, what do I mean? Like, the youngest person ever to swim a certain time is tracked kind of through the system. And so they'll be like, oh, so-and-so is the youngest 17-year-old, or so-and-so is the youngest 18-year-old. And so I'm like, a lot of people are like, this is entirely, it disturbs people. So people are like, this is so unrealistic. This doesn't happen. And I'm like, all you gotta do is read about swimming and like it's youngest this, youngest that, youngest this, youngest that, youngest first person under the age of blank, or stuff like that. So depending on one's community, this concept is actually entirely relevant and actually used of tracking of the youngest person in a field to do something or something like that. So yeah, this one, I started the book. It's based on a book. I started the book, did not finish the book, I don't think. Maybe I did, I don't know. And I think I've seen this, or at least part of it. So this is revisiting something that I cannot recall in its entirety if I have seen it. No, I have seen it all the way through, but I haven't. I could like pick a good one to watch again. So those are my two movies for this week, the week of 8 February 2022.